Over the last year, Alibaba has been a roller coaster of emotions, and the stock price, if you compare it to a roller coaster, has been going straight to the bottom, and you don't know if it's going to go up. But here in the last week, we've seen the stock price go about 20% up from about 130 or high 130s up into the 160s where it currently is trading. So a lot of people are saying, is it going to continue to go up or is it going to go down? Now, I want to address why the stock price rose here in the last week and why there still is risk with Baba moving forward. Now, one of the largest beliefs is why Alibaba is rising right now is because Charlie Munger doubled his stake in Alibaba back from when he did it around 220, and he doubled in again around 140. So the thing that bothers me with this one is that, Charlie Munger initially going to that position at 240, I think it did temporarily rise, and then it had a precipitous decrease over the next 6 months. And now where we're sitting today is he buys in, there's a temporary, or could be a temporary rise in the stock price, and people could be jumping on board that aren't necessarily prepared to play the long game. Yes, I have a price target of Alibaba in the 300 to 350 range, and yes, I still believe in those targets. But what I do want to caution folks that are thinking this is a quick win, and it may not be that way. I hope that it goes up, but I also have a little bit of a want that it continues to go down so I can continue to dollar cost average into it. I do believe Alibaba is a really strong long-term play, and at these prices where they're currently trading, it's a great value, and it continues to be that. I just don't want people to be chasing what Charlie Munger is doing in the short term, and that, and they tie their money up, and it's only short-term money, like they're just trying to bet it for a house down payment, or they have a very short-term time of frame. Just be careful about that. The other issue would be Evergrande systemically is not going to be an issue, and it's not really a factor here. So if people were selling on that fear, which I thought it was just a hoax, not a hoax, but I thought it was way overblown in the first place, then maybe they're feel a little bit better with China. The other thing is there's some energy concerns, and those have kind of been relaxed. People are starting to not be so fearful about energy concerns. That could be important on manufacturing, general output of Chinese manufacturers, households consumption, and some economic spending there. And then the third thing, in terms of just geographical to China, I almost said India. China is some of the consumer spending, and consumer spending is definitely a little bit stronger than they were thinking it was going to be. And with those three factors, it could be a little bit more money flowing into Alibaba due to some of the geographical concerns with China wearing off. Now, it's good that Charlie Munger bought shares in Alibaba. I think it starts to give a little bit more confidence to investors. And then with Evergrande and economic conditions, as well as the energy crisis kind of being averted in China, that also gives a little bit of immediate consumer confidence in China. However, with Alibaba, one of the biggest things that has caused the stock to decline is fears of regulation. Remember, a lot of this started when Alibaba got fined. There was the delay of the Ant Group IPO. Jack Ma disappeared. There was a lot of fear about regulation, what was happening, uncertainty, and then that compounded, and we saw it hit multiple companies. And so there's still all that going on in China. There's just, there's just so much of it, it's hard to keep track of. So the big thing I want to remind people here, Alibaba does have great value. It is a great value company, but there is considerable risk in the name, and you have to remember that. If you are going short term here, please be careful. Make sure you have stop losses. Make sure you have an idea of when you want to get out of the name, or when whether you lose money or whether you gain money, because Alibaba still has considerable fear around the name, and I don't think just because Charlie Munger doubled down, that's going to hold the stock in the 160s moving forward. Now, I hope it goes up to 300, 350. I definitely think they're worth that. That is definitely the intrinsic value in my opinion. However, that may not be how things play out in the short term. Again, this is at least a 5-year play on my part. at least from where I'm approaching it. If I just have the money locked up for 5 years, I'm not going to worry about it. That's what I mean by a 5-year investment for me. If it goes up before then, if it hits my price target before then, that's when you consider selling, when it hits your price target. Thank you so much for watching. I do videos on personal finance, investing, and stock analysis. If you like this type of content, please consider subscribing. Thanks so much for watching. Frank Finance, out.